What's going on, everybody? Hello, and welcome. You're listening to the S3. I'm JD. She is the lovely Lady M, and we've got a pretty good show for you today. First off, we do want to give a shout out, though, to our parent company, No Boss, No Rush. Right now, you can actually get 20% off all gear from No Boss, No Rush. You can check out the link and all the latest gear by going to the S3 podcast page and checking out the post at the top of the page. So go do that, save 20%, support your veteran-owned businesses. Also, if you're looking to start your first podcast, your first sports podcast, your first business podcast, you can get a 1-month free trial of Podbean's unlimited hosting plan by going to podbean.com/Coach JD. I don't know how we're keeping up this schedule. I really don't, with the product
I don't either.
and everything else and the coaching and like
That's
3
a
podcasts
lot.
a week. Wow. Like the fact that we were able to put together a show today, it just amazes me. But you know, when your back's against the wall.
Like I did anything to help.
You did. You are my rock, my motivation. Probably the future cause of my heart attack. But yeah, let's do it. Sure, why not? Who needs rest? So overrated. All right, what's first?
Headlines with horrible dad jokes.
Horrible dad jokes. Hey, we warn you ahead of time. Here they come. Headline number 1. Milwaukee Bucks have hired Doc Rivers to be their head coach. Moving forward, the team decided to move on from Adrian Griffin, who actually had a 30-13 record, but the Bucks slipped from 4th in defensive efficiency last season to 22nd this season under Griffin. I have a huge problem with this.
Yeah.
Huge problem with this. Your team is in 2nd place in the Eastern Conference behind only the Boston Celtics, who, by the way, have only lost 1 game at home so far this season, and you get fired. You're fired. Are you freaking? You're not like, hey, we need you to step down to an assistant's role.
Right.
You are fired.
There almost has to be more to it than that, because if we're going to start firing winning coaches,
like really winning,
that's
like
opening
3 out of every 4
up
games.
A huge bucket of worms. It's a problem.
And they said like there has to be another reason, but they said it was because of defense. You had all right. How do you expect? Not only that, but listen, let me break this down for you. How do you expect to lose Drew Holiday, who, by the way, is on the Boston Celtics now, who was on the last 3 All-NBA defensive teams? You replace him with Damian Lillard, who doesn't even know what a defensive team looks like and hasn't for his entire career. He's not in the top 50 in steals for a guard. He's not in the top 100 in blocks. And don't give me this crap about him being a guard. He shouldn't be able to. There are 20 guards on that list in the top 100.
Right.
So you take one of the best defensive players in the world, you replace him with somebody that knows nothing about
defense at all.
about defense.
And then you blame the coach. The winning coach.
The winning coach. Who's won 3 out of 4 games. 3 out of every 4 games.
They might have sunk their own boat with that one. I mean,
unbelievable. Doc Rivers is a hell of a coach.
However you want to call it, right?
Doc Rivers is a hell of a coach. He's responsible for being the coach for our Boston Celtics winning in 2008, right?
Yeah.
Here's the problem with Doc Rivers, though. His last 5 Game 7s, he has lost 5 in a row.
Yeah.
So you took somebody
that's maybe the real reason. They see it coming, so they're trying to.
Well, no, they hired Doc Rivers. They hired him. That was the replacement to the guy that won 30 games already, was to bring in Doc Rivers.
Oh, gotcha.
You blame him because you blame Adrian Griffin for your team not playing defense when the player that you went out and got and traded a buttload for is not a defensive player.
Right.
You blame him, and then you bring in a guy that can't win a Game 7 5 years straight.
Right.
All right,
I see what you're
sure.
saying now. See what you're saying.
Why not?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. He had to have pissed somebody off behind the scenes.
That had to be it. There had to be like somebody the wrong way, because 30 and 13 doesn't tell me. 13 and 30 says, hey, maybe we got the wrong coach. 30 and 13 doesn't say we have a problem here.
Right.
All right. Right. At least not one that he created.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Joke number 1. Lady M, why are skeletons so calm?
I don't know why.
Nothing gets under their skin. Do skeletons even have skin? I mean,
no, that's
right. I mean, we have skeletons. I mean, whatever.
That's the joke, babe. They don't have skin for anything to get under.
Ha ha. All right. Headline number 2. Jim Harbaugh has been granted a second interview with the Chargers out of 15 coaches.
All right.
That have had at least one interview. He is the only coach that they're bringing back for a second interview. So you've been down in this position before, or at least put yourself in this position now. If you find out that out of 15 people, you're the only person they're bringing back for a second interview, what does that tell you?
Well, it should tell you that you're pretty much the only one they're considering. Yeah. There is a chance that they have their eyes set on someone else and they're just quote unquote making sure.
They're just like, that would be so cruel.
That they don't want you instead.
Dangling candy in front of a baby.
Exactly. I think almost everybody could take that to mean this is now my coaching job. If I want it.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, Harbaugh has also done the second interview with the Atlanta Falcons as well, which we'll touch on in a second. Right. So as the way it looks, if you want to read in between the lines, I think the Chargers have found their next head coach.
Interesting.
All right, here we go. I haven't done one of these on you yet. So knock, knock.
Who's there?
A little old lady.
A little old lady who?
Wait, when did you learn how to yodel?
Oh.
Little old lady.
Terrible.
All right. Yeah. Horrible. Not terrible. Horrible. Horrible dad jokes. Horrible. All right. ESPN's Jeff Saturday says Dak Prescott, the Cowboys quarterback, should demand a trade to the Atlanta Falcons. He said that today. Now, Prescott still has 1 year remaining on his contract with the Cowboys. His cap hit for next season in that final year is almost $60 million. One guy, $60 million, $59.5 million. They cannot franchise tag him in 2025, which means they need to pay him.
Yeah.
And that negotiation starts at, get this, $60 million. Why would you negotiate for less than what you're going to get?
Right.
Or trade me. And here's the thing about that, too. He has final authority over all trades. So he can actually pick where he wants to go. And let me tell you something. I've been saying this. I said this ever since Brady went to the Bucs. The best road to the NFL playoffs is through the NFC South.
Yeah.
It's been that way for a while. You just had a team that won the South with 9 wins in a 17-game season. Dak Prescott on the Falcons makes the Falcons the number 1 team in the NFC South.
Right.
Not to mention that Mike Evans is a free agent for Tampa Bay, so he's probably not going back to Tampa Bay.
Right.
He'll end up in New England. I'm putting it out there, just putting it out there to the universe.
To the universe.
Listen to me, universe. All right.
We are accepting applications from Mike Evans specifically.
Right. So I invented a pencil with an eraser on each end.
Okay.
There's absolutely no point to it. You laugh at all my jokes. That's horrible.
That's terrible.
That is horrible.
Horrible.
All right.
Horrible.
The Atlanta Falcons have completed the second interview with potential head coach Bill Belichick. As we've already mentioned, Falcons have already completed second interviews with the Rams defensive coordinator Raheem Morris and scheduled a second interview with Bobby Slovic, the Texans offensive coordinator, a second interview with Ejiro Evero, the Panthers defensive coordinator, A second interview with Ben Johnson, the Lions offensive coordinator, Jim Harbaugh, we've already mentioned, Aaron Glenn, the Lions defensive coordinator, and Brian Callahan, the Bengals offensive coordinator. So they have thrown out a wide net.
Yeah, they have.
Like they are interviewing
cleaning house anybody. And starting from scratch is what I'm reading out of this. They're literally just like
at this point, I feel like if I wanted to be a head coach, they would interview me. Like they're just checking all boxes.
Yeah. I mean,
we've interviewed everybody.
Kind of can't blame them.
I mean, they're looking for the right guy, but I mean, how do you say, yeah, we're going to choose this guy over Bill Belichick? How do you even do that? It's going to be done. I don't think the Falcons are going to choose Belichick.
Yeah.
I really don't. I can actually see a future where Bill Belichick does not get hired as a head coach because of how many people he has beat down over the years.
Yeah. He also has a real tough culture. And I think a lot of the teams might not be willing to accept the like hard level of work he's going to put on them.
I mean, but if you're a team,
makes you win, but sure.
If you're a team that is interviewing this many head coaches, that should show how freaking desperate you are, and you're willing to try anything.
Right.
You're willing to try anything.
Yeah, they don't know exactly what they want. They just want it all different. So looking everywhere.
All right. So when I was a kid, my mom told me I could be anyone that I wanted to be. Turns out identity theft is a crime. Who knew?
Who knew?
Moving on. What's next?
First quarter NFL Conference Championships.
All right, let's get into it. We got two really good games, maybe on the schedule. No, they're on the schedule. They're not maybe on the schedule. I could see one that's not going to be a good game at all. And it's this one. It's the AFC Championship game. Kicks off at 1:00 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That game is on CBS between the Chiefs and the Ravens. The line of this game.
Do you remember what I kept telling you during the Bills-Chiefs game? Kept saying it didn't matter who won it because they weren't going to beat the Ravens.
Oh, yeah. In my defense, I don't listen to anything that she says when football is on. And she knows this. She usually has to tap me and make sure I'm looking at her.
I do. Direct eye contact. Like, I need you to hear me right now.
So if that didn't happen, I mean, you should know by now.
I did tell you when football was not on.
I don't recall, but I was still thinking about what was on. Even when it was not on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm in guy mode. All right, moving on. So the line in this one, the Ravens, it's only 3.5. I have a huge problem with this line. They are putting way too much faith into the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Way too much faith. You got Rice, who's banged up. I was surprised he even made it to the end of the game last week. And then you've got Baltimore, who has just been beating down opponent after opponent after opponent this season. The weather's going to be nice. It's going to be 40 degrees, a little cloudy, right? But it's going to be a daytime game. Lamar Jackson is 1-3 versus Patrick Mahomes in his career, which is why I can see why they put the line at -3.5, but I disagree with it 110%.
Yeah. I don't think the Chiefs are going to do quite that well. I do think they'll make it tough, but I don't think.
No, I don't even think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be at least a 2-score game. At least.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at it, the Ravens have been beating down teams all season. You got the Dolphins. They beat 56-19. The 49ers, who are also playing this weekend, 33-19. The Jaguars, 23-7. The Bengals, 34-20. The Seahawks, 37-3. The Browns, 28-3. And the Texans last week, 34-10.
Yeah.
You're telling me that the Chiefs are going to keep it within a field goal?
No, I'm not.
No.
Somebody is, but it's not me. I agree with you. I think it's going to be at least 2 goals apart. But
The bottom line is the Chiefs need someone to step up outside of Kelsey and a severely banged up Rice.
Yeah.
He's playing, but you got Gray, you got Tony, you got Watson, you got Hardman, you got Valdez, Scantling, and I don't recall any time this season going into a game where I said, look out for that guy for any of them on that list.
Yeah.
None of them.
Yeah.
Like I've said Sky Moore's name more than I've said any of their name. Maybe Watson once as like a guy that you could pick up cheap on DraftKings. But that's it. I mean,
if they use them right,
they're going to need like Justin Ross, who's got like almost no catches this season, to come out and have a career game to have a chance. And he's like their number 6 or 7th option.
Right.
I don't see this happening at all. I'll give you my best bets in the next quarter, but I don't think there's any chance in hell that the Kansas City Chiefs even cover in this game, let alone win.
Yeah.
No chance. Vince McMahon music, cue it. We don't have it because we don't have the rights to it. So, but oh my God, 3.5? Are you freaking serious? Especially when the next game is a full 7 points. 7. The San Francisco 49ers are favored by a full 7 points.
Right.
What? Deebo Samuel may or may not play in this game.
Yeah.
And the way I see it, like he was so banged up with his shoulder injury that he didn't even play the second half of him in an elimination game.
Right.
This is another elimination game. Like he might not play, or if he starts, he might not finish.
You know what I want to see happen here?
Yeah,
but I have to admit, this is the first opponent we've put the Lions up against that makes me nervous.
Oh, I'm not nervous.
No, you don't think that they're going to be an issue? I mean, I think the Lions want it bad enough they'll make up the difference, but
I don't think it's a one thing. I think it's a skill thing. Because outside of Samuel, yes, I know you got Christian McCaffrey. I know this. All right? He's a running back.
But they know that too. And if it's one player, like back to the Chiefs even with Travis Kelce, if it's just one player that you have to account for, then you can.
You are down to basically Brandon Ayuk, who's good. Brandon Ayuk is good. I expect him to get some fantasy points this week. And again, we'll cover that in a minute. And then you got George Kittle. So you got one wide receiver and one tight end.
Right.
One wide receiver, one tight end, and you got Christian McCaffrey, who can receive out of the backfield. But you're not going 5 wide like the Lions can do.
Yeah.
You look at the Lions' offensive weapons, you got LaPorta at tight end, you got Gibbs and Montgomery, you got Jamison Williams, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got Josh Reynolds, Khalil Raymond. And then, oh, by the way, you have the best quarterback playing this weekend. My words, stick it to it. Jared freaking Goff.
Yeah.
Jared Goff is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy's a better story, I think.
Yeah.
I think Purdy is a better story.
Purdy still has some growing to do. This is only his second season. I mean, he's still semi-rookie.
Yeah. I mean, I think he can handle it, but I don't think he can go toe-to-toe.
No, I agree. There's room to grow is all I'm saying.
Oh, I love that. Lions +7. Give me that now. 110%. We'll go over those. I actually have some more best bets, but definitely Lions +7. Give me that and give me the Ravens -3.5. How is the line that low?
I don't know.
Like, I'll give you a guarantee for the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is going to be their number 1 rusher because he is going to be running his ass off this weekend.
Yeah.
He will have at least 60 yards rushing before he even crosses the line of scrimmage.
Right.
He will be scrambling for days back there from this Baltimore Ravens rush. Like, I give them no chance. No chance. The Lions, I'm saying there's a chance.
Yeah.
I'm saying there not only is there a chance they win, I'm guaranteeing they'll cover. They'll cover.
I want to see it. That would be a good That would be a good Super Bowl right there.
Lions, Ravens. Ravens, Lions.
Very into that.
Nobody picked that at the beginning of the season.
Oh, no.
Not even me. I only have one
Niners,
team left.
So
I picked the Niners.
Than you did.
Well, I picked the Niners Bengals.
Yeah.
I picked Niners Bengals, so I'm 50%.
I don't remember who I said I thought they would play against.
I did pick the Bengals to win it all, but injuries happen. All right, I'm blaming that on injuries. I am. If Joe Burrow would have stayed healthy, if he was healthy all season, like before he got injured the second time, they won 5 straight.
Yeah,
they won 5 straight, and then he got injured, and it was season over. So. Yeah, so I'm just writing my prediction off to injury. It wasn't because they played bad. It's an injury. All right, what's next?
Second quarter, DraftKings best bets and DFS builds for championship weekend.
All right, which one do you want me to do first? So the DFS builds, which are kind of boring, or the best bets, which can make us money?
Let's do the DFS builds first.
All right, let's knock out the boring first. So I've got the 2 game. You can play one matchup for both games, right? Well, that's where you combine players on all teams, right? Yeah. And then I'll do the showdown breakdown for each game that I have. So the 2 game at quarterback, the best quarterback remaining, Jared Goff, Detroit, 6,300. At running back, I've got Edwards for Baltimore and I've got Gibbs for Detroit. Wide receivers, I had to go out and get Nelson Aguilar. I think he's good for like 1 or 2 big plays. He's not going to get that many points, but I had to take someone cheap because then I had to bring in the 2 number ones for the late game Sunday, and Brandon Ayuk at 6,900 and Amon-Ra St. Brown at 7,900, which left me, again, I had to go down a little bit for my finals. So my tight end is likely for Baltimore. My flex is another tight end. I've got George Kittle because, again, if Deebo Samuel can't play, Kittle has to play a much bigger role in that offense this weekend. So I've got Kittle, and for the defense, I got the one that is going to make, Patrick Mahomes run a marathon this weekend. And that's the Baltimore Ravens. So I've got Goff, Edwards, Gibbs, Aguilar, Ayuk, St. Brown, likely Kittle, and the Ravens defense.
No Chiefs players.
Yeah, that's funny.
I had to point that out. Sorry.
I've got the over/under on Taylor Swift being shown on television at 7.5. 7.5. Is it going to be more? Okay, let's do this because we're going to watch this game anyway. Yeah. I'm putting it at 7.5. Do you think that she's going to be shown more times or less times than 7.5?
It depends on how
more or less. What's up? Come on.
So you're saying she's going to show on TV at least 8 times?
Yeah, if you say over, she has to be shown at least 8 times. If you say under, she's going to be shown 7 times or less.
So far, I'm pretty sure they've been over. The thing is, I don't know if they're going to go out of their way to show her looking sad every time the Chiefs if Ravens really run a game on them, you're not going to see her as much.
So right, over under 7.5. What do you got?
Screw it, I'll say under.
Under. All right. I think Kelsey's going to get a lot of touches this game.
Yeah.
And because she went crazy off of a 12-yard reception. And they showed it. It wasn't a touchdown. It was a first down, but it wasn't like a critical first down. It was like in the second quarter.
I wonder if she knows about football or she's just like, yay, he caught it. Because
I'm not annoyed that they showed Taylor. I'm annoyed that there are diehard Chiefs fans outside, not in a suite, that they every time the Chiefs have a big play, they show Taylor. They don't show the fans.
Yeah.
Not even the ones sitting up front, right? Not even on the lower levels. They don't show any of the fans. Every time the Chiefs have a good play, show Taylor. They don't show the freaking fans. How many other
games have big celebrities at them and they only maybe show them once a game, if that.
Yeah.
So it's a little ridiculous. I agree.
Show some of the fans. Mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Every time Chiefs have a big play, they show Taylor. That's why people are getting annoyed.
Yeah.
Right? Not because it's Taylor Swift. It's because that's all they show.
She's the only fan that matters.
She's the only fan that matters.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, I'm just throwing it out there, pretty sure she just became a Chiefs fan.
Right.
I've never seen her in any concert pictures with a Chiefs jersey on stage. That's all I know. Right? That's all I know. Right? Come on, show some of the loyal fans out there. The ones that were out there in what, minus 20 degree with wind chill? Are you serious?
Right.
Show those fans.
I like seeing the fan cosplay.
Yeah.
Big, ridiculous whatevers. That's my favorite. Show me all the cosplay.
All right. Let me break down the that Chiefs game. Chiefs at Baltimore, the DFS showdown. So I mean, I only took a Chief because you have to pick at least one player from the other team. So I do have a Chief. Who is it? I'll tell you here real quick. I've got for my captain, Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. I've got wide receiver from Boston College. It's up there. I know you see it. It says Eagles. That's not the Philadelphia Eagles. Wrong colors. That's the Boston College Eagles. Zay Flowers. For running back, I've got Gus Edwards. Kicker, I've got Tucker for Baltimore. I've got the Ravens defense. And for my one Chief, I've got their kicker, Harrison Butker, Kansas City. All right. So Jackson, Flowers, Edwards, Tucker, Butker, and Ravens. That's my showdown breakdown for DFS for that game. And then my breakdown for Detroit at San Francisco. Man, there were so many like expensive players in this one.
Yeah.
So I had to go. I just figured Brandon Ayuk for San Francisco, even though we're cheering for the Lions. If Debo can't go, Ayuk's going to have a lot of catches. Like I could see double-digit catches in this game.
Yeah.
So I got him as my captain, get 1.5 time points everybody else. I picked up Gibbs and Montgomery and McCaffrey. So I've got a trio of backs there. Yeah. And then I've got a pair of kickers. I've got Badgley and then Moody. I'm not sold on Moody. I don't like him that much, but I needed somebody cheap.
Yeah.
And so yeah, $4,800 finished off my roster for that DFS showdown. Now, best bets. Here we go. Here's the money makers, people. Best bets for Sunday. Isaiah Pacheco, running back, Chiefs, over 14.5 rushing attempts. Over 40. He had like 20 last week.
So when you say attempts, that's different from yards?
Yeah, that's when how many times he gets the ball handed off to him.
Okay.
All right.
I see that.
He ran the ball 20 times last week. I think he'll do at least 15 this week, especially to try and keep the pressure off of Mahomes because he'll get tired of scrambling around.
Yeah.
Speaking of whom, Patrick Mahomes, I've got under 37.5 passing attempts. I think he only threw the ball like 20 times last week.
Okay.
So I've got him under 37.5 this week. Lamar Jackson over 1.5 passing touchdowns, especially with David Andrews returning.
Yeah.
Their tight end coming off of injury. He's finally back. He's healthy. He's good to go for Sunday. Yeah. I think he'll throw at least 2 touchdowns. So over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Jared Goff over, even though all of the professionals out there that do this for a living said under, I'm saying over 35.5 passing attempts. So at least 36 passing attempts. I think he had 40 something last week.
Yeah, they're going to play really hard for sure. So,
and then I've got Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy, he's so Purdy. Brock Purdy over 29.5 passing attempts. He also threw the ball like 40 times last week. So, I've got him throwing it for at least 30. So that's it. Isaiah Pacheco over 14.5 rushing attempts. Patrick Mahomes, not Patrick Mahomes, under 37.5 passing attempts. Lamar Jackson over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Jared Goff over 35.5 passing attempts. And Brock Purdy over 29.5 passing attempts. Those are my 5 for Sunday. What's next?
Third quarter NBA schedule for tonight.
All right. I'm still whining and bitching about not being able to even up the score with you in our weekly or our Showtime game that we do, our 6-point play. Sometimes it's 10-point play, sometimes it's 6-point play. It all depends on how many games are on the roster. Today it's a 6-point play. We've got some pretty decent games tonight. Some not really. Starting out with the Hornets at 10-31 at the Pistons 4-39. The Timberwolves at 30-13 at the Wizards 7-35. The 5:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time game is the Grizzlies at the Heat. Grizzlies 16-27, Heat 24-19. The Trailblazers at 12-31 at the Rockets at 20-22. The Cavaliers 26-15 at the Bucks 30-13. The Phoenix Suns have been playing lights out lately. Now that their big three is healthy, I'm talking about Beal, I'm talking about Booker, and I'm talking about Kevin Durant. They have been playing really well lately. Phoenix Suns at the Dallas Mavericks 24-19. 7:30 p.m. The Thunder at 30-13 at the Spurs 8-35. And then the Hawks 18-25 at the Warriors 18-22. Right now the record is 2-1-1 in your favor. But since I won the last actual win, we tied last week.
Yeah.
I don't like this where we're going. I had the win and then the tie. So we're kind of going backwards, which means you're probably going to win this week. So 6-point play. We got the layup worth 2 points. That's our guarantee. We got the free throw worth 1 point. That's any game we want. Then we got the 3-pointer. That's the underdog game. Lady M, you know what we're going to do this week? Because I make up the rules in this game, which is why I'm still like, I have no idea why I'm losing at this. Because I made up the game. I made up the rules. New rule is you can pick any one of those games at any time that you want. So if you want to do the underdog pick first, the 3-pointer, you can do that. If you want to do the guarantee, but keep in mind, there's some strategy involved. I might steal your guarantee from you if you don't pick it. Right. Or I might steal your underdog 3-pointer if you don't pick it. Right. Go first. Which one are you taking? Looking up and down the list. We've got a lot of underdogs.
I'm going to do the Timberwolves for my guarantee.
You're taking the guarantee first. Timberwolves 30-13 at the Wizards 7-35. I think that is a wicked spot pick right there. Ooh, I am going to take my underdog first. I'm going to take my underdog first. I am taking the Portland Trail Blazers to go into Houston and upset the Houston Rockets tonight. Give me that underdog spot.
Gotcha.
All right.
Just catching up on my typing.
All right.
Trailblazers. Okay.
Some
Let's
good games.
See. Versus the Rockets.
Who else you looking at? So you got the layup and the underdog left. Yeah, like this is crap.
Yeah, a little bit. What's that's any underdog. So I'll do Grizzlies over the Heat.
Grizzlies over the Heat. Wow, yeah. That's funny because I was just about to do them for my guarantee. Now you got me thinking. You know what? I'm taking the Bucks tonight for my guarantee.
Okay.
Doc Rivers in Milwaukee. First night as coach. I think the Cavs come out and I think they play defense finally. I think maybe Damian Lillard can D up somebody. Maybe it's a bench guy, but he'll D him up. And I'm taking the Bucks. So that's my guarantee. So my guarantee, my underdog are gone. Your guarantee and your underdog are also gone.
A free throw for both of us.
All right. Any game we want.
I think I'm going to throw a little loyalty locally here and go for the Suns.
Suns are on a hot streak. I will take. Do you take the Thunder?
Nope.
Aha. I'm taking the Thunder at the Spurs. How did I end up with two guarantees? All right. I'm taking the Thunder over the Spurs. I like it. Run down what we got. Oh, no, you still got to pick.
Right.
No, you already got
the layup, which is our guarantee. I have the Timberwolves beating the Wizards. You have the Bucks beating the Cavaliers.
Okay.
For our free throw, which is pick anything you want, I've got the Suns beating the Mavericks, and you've got the Thunder beating, I forget they're playing, the Spurs. And then our 3-point, which is picking an underdog to win.
Yeah.
I've got the Grizzlies beating the Heat, and you have the Trailblazers beating.
Let's go, Trailblazers. Let's go, Trailblazers. I got more for you Trailblazer fans coming up in the fourth quarter, by the way. Definitely stay tuned for that. I kind of like where I'm at. I'm kind of liking where I'm at, but there's a pretty good chance I'm just going to roll over without saying anything to you tonight. I mean, there's a pretty good chance. I'm just throwing that out there just so you're not surprised. Sure. I mean, let's be honest. At this point, is there anything I can do that you would actually be surprised about? Like, seriously.
I mean, I do know you pretty well.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. What's next?
Fourth quarter, hard court picks.
Oh, I wanted to go ahead and get this pick out like at the beginning of the show. I did lock down Georgia -4.5, hosting LSU. I know that game's already tipped off. They're probably getting their ass kicked now that I forgot to show it. But yeah, I had Georgia -4.5. In the NBA, I've got 4 games. I'm taking Portland +10.5. I'm big on Portland tonight. I'm also taking Portland on the money line. That's +420, which means $10 wins you $52. It's a pretty damn good bet right there. I'm also taking the Memphis Grizzlies +11 points. That doesn't mean your pick is going to happen. Doesn't mean that. I just mean that they could cover. Okay, +11. And then I've got also in the Portland-Houston game, I'm taking the over 220.5. So Portland +10.5. Portland on the money line +420. Over 220.5. Portland, Houston. And then I got Memphis +11. And then, like I said, Georgia -4.5 hosting LSU. I should have got that out at the beginning of the show because it tipped off like 30 minutes ago. So I don't know if I can count that now because like I haven't even seen what the score is. But you know what? We probably can't count that because I had to get it out at the beginning. So scratch that one. So I got 4 bets for tonight, all in the NBA. One final note, as always, shout out to our men and women in uniform, past and present. Thank you very much for your service and your sacrifice. Shout out to the First Cat Division, my old division. Hooah. All right. And remember, if you're looking to start your first podcast, you can get a 1-month free trial of Podbean's unlimited hosting plan by going to podbean.com/Coach JD. And right now, go to our Facebook page, click on the No Boss, No Rush post, and get 20% off of all gear for the next couple days. I think they got like 5 days left on that code. So get 20% off for the next 5 days. Lady M, you got anything? Anything else? All right. Well, that's it for our show. I'm JD. She's Lady M. Keep loving sports. We will see you later.